I'm tired of being on the Google Home or Google Nest or Google whatever beta program that it seems we're on. I'm tired of the outages. I'm tired of the lack of communication. And I'm tired of the constant changing of the way these devices work. And to be honest, if this next round of updates doesn't start to improve things very quickly, if this doesn't pay off, you may see me start to shift on Automate Your Life. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. Obviously it's going to be a bit of a struggle here to take some of the frustration out of automation, but you know what? At least you can hear a little bit of anger out of me in your favor, and hopefully we can utilize a video like this to actually cause some changes to occur here. If you've been following me for a while on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you'll have noticed a video that I put out where my Google Home Hub was, well, sounding like a prepubescent teen. And, you know, it was really on that day, and that day was actually Monday, that I started noticing changes and disruptions to the service here with Google Home or Google Nest products, or just Nest products in general. And the Google Assistant has been the one that has been mostly impacted here for me. Show me my Nest camera.
It looks like the stream is currently unavailable from the driveway.
Now, I'm not alone. There are literally thousands of users that I have seen personally here, and our Twitter, our Facebook group, and all kinds of different posts in other Facebook groups where users are complaining about a number of issues. Those issues, I mean, I could go on forever. It's basically how these devices are working, but accents. The big news story was accents suddenly changing all over the place, and I spoke to Google support about that one specifically. We've also seen a major outage with custom routines, although it seems like today is Friday as I record this, that some of that has been repaired. We've also seen issues with all kinds of different alarms, whether they're not working, whether they're working differently, whether they can't set a media alarm or some kind of alarm. There's changes in how relaxation sounds are working. There's a lot of crazy things going on. On top of that, people have been struggling with casting capability all over the place. Individual devices, suddenly entire networks not being able to cast. It's widespread, and it's very random as well. And the last thing, and this is probably what I would consider to be the worst, is suddenly the smart home control is changing. So it's no big deal, right? I mean, you know, it's okay if services are disconnecting, and never coming back. It's okay if entire homes are struggling here, and it's okay that it's not being communicated, right? It's okay when our devices suddenly don't understand us, or we don't understand our devices, or they sound entirely different. That's okay. It's okay when your Nest cameras don't work and your thermostat stops being able to control your home. All of these things are okay, and you know, why would we need any sort of communication to come out officially from Google? And that's what's really got me here today. Despite all of this, despite me reaching out on Google support, despite me reaching out on Twitter to multiple different Google support accounts, despite me being a Google Home user, product user of all of these types of products, a Nest user of all of their different types of products, I'm not getting any response. When I spend thousands of dollars on all of this equipment, because Google's never going to hand me one, when I spend all that money and you spend all of that money and we get no communication back, that's where I start to get frustrated. Outages are one thing. I understand there is massive complexity with Google Assistant. There is massive complexity with the cloud services that Google offers. And I understand that there's tons going on with the Nest program and how all of those changes are coming in, all of the changes that were announced at Google I/O, and how those are all being put into the products right now, the apps, the services. All of this is an entirely complex system that I'm betting nobody has a full grasp on in the world. And so I understand the complexity, and I'm okay to communicate that complexity and the fact that we're experiencing all of these issues. But what I'm not okay with is no communication. So my hope is that there's one Googler out there who happens to watch this video and is wondering why I'm so angry for my subscribers, for the people buying these products, and why I want some changes. So what I think right now in the middle of this video, because I'm going to get to what is going on, at least from my perspective here, because I don't have any official word, but I think you should take 30 seconds, write down below in the last couple of weeks, the last month, what you've actually experienced here. And if it's in the last week where you're having errors, you're having issues, write it down below, because I think if there is enough on this video right now of comments, issues, complaints, I think that I can push Google to actually start communicating at the very least with me on some of these more official or larger issues and help you guys navigate through. So fine, I can stop whining now. Let's move on to what is going on and let's have a little more fun, because I'm about done being angry. I don't like that on my channel, and I don't enjoy being this way in general about products that I do truly love in a lot of cases. Number one, the big reason for a lot of this going on is, and this has been going on for a little bit. We saw it with the Nest outage a few weeks ago here, or the couple of Nest outages, which were really Google Cloud outages. And I mean, this was amazing to me. On June 2nd, actually, there was another one here, and Google's statement actually on that one, they did put out a statement because it affected so many services, so many users. It was much bigger than Nest, and it was all of their cloud services as well that had this outage. And what they communicated was essentially they were overloaded by the amount of traffic going on, and they're looking into that. That's a statement I understand. I mean, if it happens every week here, people will start to have problems with the reliability of the service. But in general, I understand that. And what I've seen from a number of graphs of the issues and a number of statements on the issues kind of online from people using these services is, yes, the massive issue is cleared up, but it is slowly coming back in all different services and all different capabilities. And there are still minor outages going on throughout the whole Google Cloud system. So you can actually watch that graph kind of come down over time. So I'm betting you can guess one of the services that would be impacted by this. And this isn't something that Google breaks out, but Google Assistant is a heavily Google Cloud-based service. With those issues going on, this is one of the big reasons that we're seeing variability in how the Google Assistant is responding. Now, there's a second reason, and that is the Works with Nest program and all of the changes to the Google Assistant that were promised as part of Google I/O. There is a ton going on right now, and you're seeing little snippets of it if you kind of read from different users what they're experiencing, if you just pay attention in general to how your app is changing in little ways, and some of the other things that have gone on very recently. I'll give you a couple examples of that. We know how bad Routines has been, but the fact that Routines is breaking right now as we go towards the integration of Nest products within the whole Google Nest system here, that capability has to change. It 100% has to change. And I've kind of given little components of this as we've gone forward, but you have to have the ability to trigger Google Assistant and your Google Home and Google Nest to take actions. And we have never had that in Routines. That's the big reason it's been so bad as far as I've been concerned since its launch. It's nice to have it, but you can't trigger anything. So what's the use? But anyways, that Works with Nest program, the integration of that into Works with Google Assistant and all of the functionality that has to be there means a massive update for routines. Some of the other things that have to be there with that, all those new device types that we talked about related to Google I/O, all those have to be there, and that causes a lot of back-end changes that I don't think necessarily people understood the breadth and scope of when that was first announced, because those new devices, and you think about all the Nest products as well, coming into the fold here have to be identified and managed in a very rigid way. So, for example, I watched a video of an individual who suddenly had the different light switches, lamps, and different things go into one in terms of when they asked the lights to come on. So there was no longer a breakout. Things had kind of been combined from the Google Assistant. And so, this is a good example of one of the ways that suddenly your smart home control is changing and is related to all these new device types that Google is now having to manage, integrate, and bring into the fold. And this all goes to another big feature that appears to be coming here and may already actually be on the devices. Now, don't get too excited, but local control appears to be coming to the devices and appears to be, I think it's there, but why I say don't get too excited is, unfortunately, there's really no devices with that capability. I would expect lots of your Nest devices to have that capability very soon, if not right away, with simple firmware updates being given over the air. So now there's more coming, and lists still needs to be updated and upgraded, and we saw the basis of that coming a while ago, but I think a lot of these changes had to precede the final implementation of lists. And there's reasons I have for that. I won't go into all of that right now, but we're going to see a massive change here. And I hope next week, with a drop of a massive new routines feature, that I get to produce a video where you get Happy Brian coming back to the channel and talking about the great new routines feature and some of the great new features that we've had drop here. I know we're going to see Netflix very soon on your smart displays. So there are good features coming. But again, I think we need to be really clear right now that we need more communication out of Google. I don't care if it eliminates my Google Home updates videos every couple of weeks. I don't care if their communication is that good. What I care about is us moving forward as a smart home community, working together. So let's send that message right now. Tell us down below what you have experienced here with your Google Home products. It's okay if it's nothing. I'm happy to hear lots of people aren't experiencing things, but I think you're going to be in the minority here in the last few weeks. So go ahead, guys. Otherwise, let's try not to hate. I don't hate anybody here. You don't hate. And instead, we'll try and automate. Now, until next time, we'll see ya.